Tonight, security firm Guardsman breaks its silence on the shooting death of one of its employees while on duty. Alison Jean calls for justice for the family of Arnold Joseph, a teenager who was shot and killed during an operation by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And are people buying what the government is selling on the DSH horse racing track? We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of October 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM Radio. You can also watch on our website. It's www.caribbeanhottv.com, on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, or on our Facebook page. I am Lovely Saint Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Alison Jean is back home and says she is trying to focus on the healing of her family after a year of turmoil and fighting for justice for her son, Botham Jean. She understands the strong opinions about her son, Brant Jean's actions when he hugged his brother's murderer, but she says he did it to relieve himself. And though personally, Alison Jean says the 10-year sentence meted out to Amber Geiger was a bit disappointing, she says she will no longer dwell on it. Even though her family is receiving book and movie deals, she says her focus right now is on her family's healing and returning to some semblance of normalcy after their devastating loss.
It was the case that had the world captivated. An unarmed black man shot in Dallas, Texas by a white female officer. A historic murder conviction, followed by what was, for many, a surprising 10-year sentence. And then a hug that was felt around the world and left people deeply divided on the issues of forgiveness and justice. No one has to live with or feel the weight of every turn of events as heavily as Botham's mother, Alison Jean. She has been the voice and the face of a movement for justice for Botham Jean for over a year. The movement has taken its toll, and what she wants most is peace. Her younger son ignited a firestorm of criticism, particularly from Black America, about his willingness to forgive and hug Amber Geiger, the woman convicted of murdering his brother. But he also ignited an outpouring of admiration for his capacity to forgive. Alison Jean is now back home, and she says she knows people have been invested in the case and that the sentencing phase was tough to digest. But she wants St. Lucians to move forward with her as she tries to turn the page.
Most of all, in all of what we've been through for the past year, I must thank the St. Lucia public, because I know that they've rallied with me. I know when I walk the streets, when I go into the supermarkets, people stop and say how much they've been praying for us. And I think it's the collective prayers of the nation and support of people, St. Lucians in the diaspora and everywhere, that really brought attention to that case and caused the justice system in America to work very swiftly to get us the justice that we got right now. The other aspect is my other son, Brant, and what he did. We are Christians. We practice forgiveness. We love each other. We go by the Bible, what the Bible says, and the Bible says to love your enemies. I don't know if we have reflected on loving our enemies. That is the most difficult thing that you could ever do. So for him to relieve himself at 18 years old, he chose to forgive the person who killed his brother, the person who killed someone who meant the world to him. So that for me is commendable from him. I have learned from him as my younger son.
Jean defended her younger son against claims that he was willing to offer forgiveness to the convicted murderer because she is white. In the days following the trial, many said the treatment of Amber Geiger was a display of white privilege, even in the midst of a murder trial. Alison Jean says that was not the case for Brant.
He didn't hug her because she was white, and if she was black, he would not have hugged her. That's not how we are raised. I keep saying in St. Lucia, I don't even know what racism is. I've never really been exposed to racism, and we have to just remove this from our minds. Yes, it happened in America. If Botham was a white person, I don't know if Amber's would have acted differently. But whatever she did, she did. I think we need to move on. I am using this opportunity to heal right now, to have a very low profile, because our family now needs to come together and cure ourselves from what has happened to us last year.
Jean says moving forward, she wants St. Lucians to rally behind the Botham Jean Foundation as it seeks to help children, youth, the elderly, and the underprivileged in Botham Jean's honor. But Hollywood is already knocking on the family's door. Will Alison Jean and her family answer?
There is a writer who has offered to write a book on him. There are filmmakers who are coming forward and they want to have a documentary, want to have a movie on what has happened from Botham's case right down to Brand's forgiveness. We have a team from Japan who will be visiting St. Lucia at the beginning of November because they want to see where we live, where Botham lived, the schools he went to, where Brand lives. Only yesterday at a funeral in Choiseul, the priest pointed to Brand and brought him up to the altar to show to the audience, to the congregation, what the profound nature of what Brand did. But Brand is not a camera child. Brand is not somebody who would do anything for publicity. So he has been very reclused. He's just kept away. He doesn't want all of the publicity. He's gotten offers for people to fly him to New York to come to come on to the international news, to back to Dallas. But this is not for us. Our family has been thrown into the limelight over Botham's death, but that's not really who we are or what we do. So for now, I am just trying to shield him, trying to protect him, trying to comfort him.
Jean says she will stand by and protect her younger son as she stood by and stood up for her older son in his death.
The security company Guardsman has issued a statement following the shocking daylight killing of one of its employees by armed bandits. Paul Bruce was on duty when he was shot dead at a service station in Balata on Friday afternoon. The company declined any interviews but has released this statement, which will be read in its entirety.
Kenneth Benjamin, founder and chairman of the Guardsman Group, offered his sincere condolences to the family and friends of Paul Bruce, who was brutally killed on Friday, the 18th of October, 2019. We are deeply saddened by the news of Paul's passing. Collectively, we express our deepest sympathies to his family for their terrible loss. He was also a valued member of our Guardsman family, explained Benjamin. Guardsman Group Managing Director Vinay Walia explained that the company is working closely with local law enforcement to bring the culprits to justice. We have deployed resources and are coordinating with the investigators to identify and apprehend the criminals responsible, he added. General Manager of Guardsman St. Lucia, a subsidiary of the Guardsman Group, Janine Henry, explains that the Guardsman family is deeply saddened by Paul's death. He was not only a co-worker, but he was our brother and friend. Management continues to provide our full support to the team and the family of our colleague at this difficult time. We wish to thank our corporate partners for the wave of comforting gestures we have received. We wish to extend our deepest gratitude to the Police Commissioner, Severin Mosheri, for his bold statement on the matter. It provided a great deal of encouragement and comfort to the men out on the field. That was a statement from Guardsman with regard to the shooting death of an employee, Paul Bruce, on Friday, the 18th of October, at a service station in Balata, Babono.
After a brief closure due to electrical issues, the principal of the St. Aloysius R.C. Boys Infant School is happy to announce that the learning institution is reopened and revving to go. In addition to her happiness over the reopening, she's also expressing gratitude for all those who played a part leading to the reopening. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
Last week, Hot 7 News reported on the closure of the St. Aloysius RC Boys Infant School after torrential rains led to a freak accident which in turn led to the school keeping its doors closed on Friday the 18th of October. Officials reported that water seepage from dilapidated guttering caused the flooding of 3 upstairs rooms. The quick response of the school's principal, Winnikage King, saw the shutting down of electricity to ensure the safety and security of students who were still on compound during the incident. Fast forward to Tuesday, the 22nd of October, and Principal King was in all smiles as she expressed her happiness following the reopening of the school to the students. She said all is right as rain.
School is on and rolling. Every issue we have had caused by the flood that we had on Thursday has been rectified. The ministry was here on Friday, on Saturday and yesterday just to make sure that we were ready for today. So the teachers were there from early to welcome the students. The students are in class and doing what they love to do best, learn. We're in a fantastic place.
King went on to thank all those involved in getting the school back up and running in such a timely manner.
Let me commend first the ministry, because it's the ministry's contractors who came in and did what they were supposed to do, inspect, and then they did the calling to get Lucilec to come in. So we're all ready and good to go.
The school's teachers were also on hand, aiding with the cleanup efforts to get the facilities ready for Tuesday's reopening. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. The government of St. Lucia has signed a memorandum of understanding with Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean Cruises to form a joint venture to manage the existing cruise pier and terminal facilities in St. Lucia and to design, construct and operate a new cruise port in the south of the island. The MOU was signed during a ceremony on the 21st of October in San Juan, Puerto Rico at the FCCA Cruise Conference. As part of the MOU, Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean and the government of St. Lucia will establish a long-term concession agreement to formalize the terms and responsibilities for the joint venture to manage and operate the current cruise pier and terminal facilities at the port of Castries. Additionally, the joint venture will design, finance, construct, and operate the new cruise port in Vieux-Fort that will be able to accommodate the latest and most innovative ships in the cruise industry. Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alan Chasney, has called the signing of the MOU historic and a major step towards enhancing St. Lucia's tourism product. Together, the cruise line brands of Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean Cruises currently account for 75% of all cruise ship deployment to St. Lucia. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. When we return, police speak on the upsurge in crime over the weekend. We hit the streets to hear your response to an impassioned plea by the government's communications officer to embrace the horse racing track as a project of tremendous benefit and a warning about forbidden foods during Junior Creole feasting. That and more when we return.